good morning, everybody. And you're sipping coffee with Spider. That's what the show's called. I'm, of course, your good buddy Spider, and I should probably address that there was no news yesterday. Now, that doesn't mean there wasn't any news in the world. There was no show yesterday because I took a step back for a day to take a break from the news because, as I said the day before, there's most of the news cycle is being dominated by this situation over in the Middle East, and so sometimes you just when stuff like that happens, you just need to unplug for a little while. You just need to step back and let the news be the news for a little while rather than have commentary about it because it's such a big developing story and there's so much going on. There's so many opinions about it. So I just took the day to step back from it. But I'm back here, and we're probably going to address it at least once tonight. Not tonight, I mean this morning. It's still dark outside. Daylight savings is coming next month. But, yeah, so let's get into the news and see what all we have going on. PC Gamer with an interesting story. Valve, the game company, warns Counter-Strike 2 players if you use AMD's anti-lag feature, you will get banned. AMD has a processor that apparently is working to fight back against lag in internet connections and various other parts of the system that may cause it. And Valve says not to use it. I have to wonder if it's... I mean, I get they don't want anybody to be having an unfair advantage, but lag is something that should be eliminated, you know? I don't think it's something that should be tolerated, so I don't use every tool at your disposal. True, that means the people with the better rig are usually the winners in matches, but that's usually what's happening now anyway. If you have a better rig, you're usually winning whatever multiplayer you're doing. So I don't see what the difference is, really. The better technology wins out, unfortunately, as opposed to direct skill. The only way to stop that from happening is to force everyone to use the exact same system, the exact same specs. Good luck with that, folks. Good luck with that. NBC News with the big upcoming event. The rare Ring of Fire solar eclipse will cross the U.S. on Saturday. They say, here's how to see it. It'll probably be a partial where I am in Ohio. I don't think we're going to get the full effect, but it'll still be neat to watch. Hopefully, it'll happen sometime in a time where we can visualize it. But it'll be a partial here, I'm sure. But that's cool. It's one of those things that happens every so often, so it's well worth a look. From IGN, Microsoft announces Xbox Series S starter bundle priced $299.99. Here's what it includes. Looks like a system, a controller, Game Pass, probably a month or probably 3 months. Looks like 3 months, actually, looking at the picture here. 3 months of Game Pass. So that's not too bad, honestly, for the price of what the system was when it first came out. I think, wasn't it $299 or was it $249? I don't know. I don't have the Series S. I have the X, which is the far superior system. They're still trying to entice people into the S, and the X is superior. It has better hardware, better overall everything. And I think it's kind of pointless to have made two different systems. I think they were just trying to stick it to Sony and get a little bit more Game Pass users in the door long term. But in other big news that's not on this story, but it's separate, and it happened yesterday, but everybody's been reporting on it. People started reporting on it the day before, but yesterday is when things happened, the 13th. Microsoft's acquisition of Activision, which consists of Activision, Blizzard, and King, I guess, which is some gaming company, but they probably make mobile games. I don't know. I've never heard of them, so I assume they make mobile games because I don't play those. But the Microsoft Activision acquisition has finalized after 20 months of back and forth and promises to PlayStation and to different um, consumer regulators about antitrust and monopolies and things. After all this back and forth, the deal is done, which is something I expected to happen from the beginning, but red tape being what it is. So, within the next year, you will start seeing more Activision games on Microsoft's Game Pass service for both PC and for Xbox. And I don't mind. I'm an Xbox user, and I think that's cool. And there's rumors that they're going to bring back a bunch of older games and remaster things, and that they had ideas for those in the works. And the only reason that they didn't do them yet or announce them yet was because they were waiting on the outcome of the merger. Now that it's done, you'll start seeing some games, some beloved games, showing back up with luck. Consequence of Sound with some interesting news. Tool to work on new album when touring wraps up. We've got many ideas cooking, quote unquote, which the last time it took them, like 12 years? Almost as long as Chinese Democracy from Guns N' Roses. It took forever. Almost as long as the Duke Nukem Forever game, which still, wasn't what everybody wanted it to be. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe they're on an inspiration streak, and we'll see how it goes. Fox 10 out of Phoenix, possibly with some clickbait. These Halloween candies are the worst for your teeth, according to a dentist. If you want to find out, check that out. I don't care. I don't eat enough candy as it is. We brush our teeth in my household, so who cares? Little candy here and there isn't going to hurt somebody. So, but if you are interested and you want to keep everyone safe from the sugar goblins, as opposed to the Tacoma goblin, then you can check that out from Fox 10 out of Phoenix. Smithsonian Magazine with a cool story. I like the look of this. I have a sneeze coming on. Hold on. Oh, that was a big one. I'm still getting these allergy things going on. I got better for a few days. And then all of a sudden it just, oh my gosh, I'm just sneezing and everything today. It's crazy. Anyway, from Smithsonian Magazine, extraordinary fossil find reveals details about the weight and diet of extinct saber-toothed marsupial. Now that's cool. It's always kind of a joke in cartoons that any time that they display animals, that they're all like saber-toothed, like saber-toothed cats, saber-toothed dog, saber-toothed horse, saber-toothed everything, saber-toothed giraffe. And this is a saber-toothed marsupial. It shows that it was, in reality, a bit more common. Not, everything like the cartoons, but it was more common than just saber-toothed tiger. I had some stuff stuck in my throat from the sneeze. But that's cool. I'm going to read that article later. Another one from Smithsonian Magazine, Vibrant Paint. Once decorated, the 2,500-year-old Parthenon marbles. Oh, that's cool. Excuse me, gosh. We know that our ancestors were well versed in artistic techniques. And some of the things that they did were so colorful, so fantastic, so detailed, that we can't even reproduce them today. That sneeze has got me going now. See here? I'm going to be snoring in your ear the rest of the morning. My apologies for that. I know that's one of the most irritating things ever. Somebody going, I know, it drives me crazy. But yeah, so that's a good story. Go to Smithsonian Magazine for both of those stories. It's an exciting time to be into history. From Nature, incredible quote unquote asteroid sample ferried to Earth is rich in the building blocks of life. This was the sample that the OSIRIS-REx mission brought back from the Bennu asteroid. They found it had an overabundance of carbon, as I said, because at first they said, oh, some mysterious black powder, but it's carbon. They had more carbon than expected, plus various other minerals, showing that it's perhaps possible that asteroids and meteorites are able to transport different minerals between different planets and perhaps cause the reactions that create life. If you're pure science and not spiritual. I don't want to get into a debate about that. I'm just saying. I think that's cool. There's a theory about that called panspermia, I believe, where life is carried across galaxies and to different planets on receptacles. And this isn't truly life initially, but it's the things that help create life or lead to the creation of life. So that's cool. Associated Press. Scientists count huge melts in many protective Antarctic ice shelves, trillions of tons of ice lost. And that's an interesting point. We know the planet has been warming since the ice age from 10,000 BC, etc., something like that. We know that we're actually in a period of ice age activity now. It just hasn't really caught up. We're entering into what should be a period of ice age activity. So it's hard to say what direction this is going to go. It could continue. I don't think it's going to melt exponentially. I don't think these things are going to go out of control. But I don't know if they're going to improve anytime soon either. The planet goes in cycles, and the planet does what it does with or without our input. So let's just keep an eye on that, I guess. Phys.org, phys.org, re-examination of ancient jawbone found in Ethiopia concludes it came from Homo erectus infant. I think this is one they thought it was going to be a new ancestor, but maybe it's not. Oh, no, this was found back in 1981, and they've been trying to find what species it was from since then. So that's neat. It shows a diversification of humans in different parts of the world. It's interesting that this should come up now. CBS News, Titanic artifact recovery mission called off after leader's death and submersible implosion. I didn't know the company was still going to the company that owns the salvage rights to the Titanic shipwreck has canceled plans to retrieve more artifacts from the site because the leader of the upcoming expedition died in the Titan submersible implosion, according to documents filed in a U.S. district court on Wednesday. The decision could impact a looming court battle between the company and the U.S. government, which has been trying to stop the 2024 mission. U.S. attorneys have said the firm's original plans to enter the ship's hull would violate a federal law that treats the wreck as a grave site. So I think that's going to be the end of that, and maybe there won't be any more retrieval missions from here on out, by the look of things. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. Once again, I don't find the implosion thing to be a joke. I don't find it to be funny. I don't like the memes. I'm not going to tell people what to do about it, but I'm also not going to engage people in a conversation about it if they're going to make fun of that kind of thing. I think it's fair to be disappointed in a loss of life as opposed to celebrating it just because they happen to have more money than you did. Okay? Just because people have more money than you doesn't necessarily mean that you should be excited that they're dead. All right? Just so we're clear. I'm steamed up about that still. About how people react to that kind of thing. From The Verge, new Starlink page launched to promote cellular service coming in 2024. That's the satellites that Elon Musk has put into orbit to give people internet access across the globe wherever they are, and now they're going to be trying to do cell service at the same time. Hopefully, if they get enough customers for this, the prices will go down. Because last I heard, everything was very expensive. It was a lot more expensive than, say, broadband or that kind of thing. So it's interesting, though. If it becomes more affordable, it might be something that I'll look into for certain things. I don't know if I'll get it for my cell service or not, but who knows? Might be worth it. We'll see how things go. More from Smithsonian Magazine. If you want to see 12 winning images from the Wildlife Photographer of the Year contest, go to Smithsonian Magazine online. And you can see those photos. The first photo they have right up here is a ram jumping up looking tough. So that's interesting. Polygon. Nintendo sold a single just one new Wii U in the US this year. And I didn't know that they were still doing the Wii U. I wasn't certain about that. I thought they'd made the entire move just to the Switch. And apparently they haven't. I mean, the Switch is their big deal, but they're still doing the Wii U. So I'm guessing this will probably mean that the Wii U is going to be on its way out very, very soon. I would guess that with numbers that low, being just one, that support would be ending very, very soon. So we'll see. Associated Press with the inevitable. Goodbye to more DVDs. Best Buy plans to phase out sales of physical movies in the coming months. And that's unfortunately, like I said, it's inevitable. Everything, absolutely everything is going digital, which is the future. Digital books, digital movies, digital music, digital games, everything is going to be digital. It's a juggernaut that cannot be stopped unless there's a technological crash at some point, which forces us to go back to print media and things of that nature. So, yeah, very, very unfortunate, but that's the march of progress. I've lived through cassette tapes, vinyl. Cassette and vinyl have both come back, at least temporarily, which is interesting. CDs, MP3s. I was back with VHS tapes, then to DVDs, then to Blu-rays. My dad had an Atari before there was the Nintendo. So I've seen how media has changed. It's been very quick, honestly. I like to say I'm an old guy, but as far as the development, like the time frame of technology and things, that's a blink of an eye. It's a blink of an eye. So who knows? We'll see how the future goes. I know, like I said, cassette tapes and vinyl have come back in an interesting way for certain collectors. But we'll see how everything else pans out from there. Maybe DVDs will come back as a niche item. I don't know. Reuters with some interesting news. Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company, slashes revenue forecast on lower COVID sales, will cut costs. Well, of course, fewer people, and I have to be careful how I talk about this because YouTube will take my video down for no particular reason. But fewer people are taking what's being offered because more people are developing natural immunity, which is a thing. It's not fake. It's not made up. It's basic biology. It's how we get over most of our colds. It's how we get over most of our major sicknesses. It's how other vaccines in the past have worked. And I said the V word, so now this video is probably going to get taken down by the algorithm. We'll see. But it's how other inoculations have helped in the past by giving you a bit of virus, just enough that your body will recognize it and learn how to fight it. The new ones don't do that. The new ones directly go in and tinker around with certain bits of code in your body. That's how it works. It's a bit more, there's a bit more to it, but if I use certain language, again, like I said, the video is going to get taken down. And it's no wonder that the new ones don't work. When you disregard a century of biological precedent and you just make something up and rush it and hope it works. So all these big companies are now going to be desperate to sell their stuff. From Reuters, now this is interesting. Seismologists detected blast-like waves near a broken Baltic Sea pipeline. I wonder if this means that they're suspecting sabotage, considering this is very near Russia and the Ukraine and all that. Interesting. Another one from Reuters. U.S. electric vehicle sales hit record high. Tesla loses market share, report says. And that's no surprise. More people are making electric vehicles, and Teslas have always been a little bit more expensive. So now that the other guys are doing more and diversifying things, of course, they're not dominating that market. I'm still holding out hope that with the upcoming investiture in hydrogen hubs, that we can really get the hydrogen vehicles up off the ground. Not just the buses, not just the big vehicles, but the everyday driving vehicles, because hydrogen is the way of the future. Electric vehicles are already done. There's no making them any better. Hydrogen vehicles are the way of the future. Trust me on that. I wouldn't buy an electric vehicle, an all-electric. I don't know. Maybe in the future I'd buy a hybrid if I had to. Right now I'm going to stick with petroleum products. But if I had to, like if they really did stop making gas-powered vehicles like they claim, I'd try to go for a hybrid if they could still have them. But I wouldn't want an electric vehicle. I would, though, if I could get fuel for it readily available, I'd get a hydrogen vehicle. Hydrogen is the future. And that's all I have for you tonight. Not tonight. It's this morning. It's lightening up outside now. I can see it. I should be more used to that by now. But, these early mornings, they get to me. They get to me. But, yeah, that's all I've got for you. It was weird. In my little aggregator here, I didn't have anything about the Israel situation. Maybe it's because I took that day to clear yesterday, and maybe it reset its own algorithm. But I don't know. I know a lot has been going on. Most of it's been talk right now. We'll see if we can revisit that tomorrow and see how that situation has continued. But for now, it was a welcome break from that particular part of the news. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop me a comment on this video on YouTube or send me an email at uncannyspiritsclub@gmail.com. Like always, I look forward to hearing from you. And this morning, let's have bagels. You got bagels? Let's have bagels with a nice bit of butter, maybe some cream cheese. I don't know. I like cream cheese on my bagels, but I'm not feeling it today. I think I just want some butter. I want to toast my bagels. Put the bagels in the toaster, toast them up. I have some butter on there, slather them up with butter. Just that's breakfast, all right? Get to it. I'm hungry.